Today's lesson is called Tapestry of Texture. Welcome to Mixed Media. It's a mess. So we have been doing jelly prints with texture. I'm just going to show you some of my, as they call it, fodder here. This was a stencil of flowers. That's not a print. That's just using acrylic ink with a dropper and just making patterns. Here's a print with some Posca pens. Here's my print with lace texture. So we're going to be using various materials. Our prints, you could choose a magazine imagery if you want. It could even be personal imagery, depending on what you want to do with your piece. And then I told everybody to go on I will call it a texture gathering or scavenger hunt. So these are the textures that appeal to me. I like burlap. I like the lines, bits of fabric. Here, I'll put it on the white so you can see it. I have not used this that much. This is, I think, drywall tape. And what's really nice about it is it's sticky on one side, but let's just say I put it over these cups. Then I still see them, but I create a bit of a screen and a reduction in the high contrast of the image. Okay, I like other mesh type items that again are see-through and create a little bit of a window. So there's this floral mesh. This is from an avocado bag. And I'm not just looking at the texture, I'm also looking at the color. I'm thinking this is part of my color palette. I've got the red, green with different patterns. Love corrugated cardboard. That's always a favorite because later it creates a nice structure and then later I can dry brush paint over it. I can stain the whole thing and then drag another color on top and I get two colors. I like these bags too because of the stitching and the raised sculptural element. And here's another mesh that I use to create a print. Okay, so you want to go on a little scavenger hunt, see what you've got that's exciting to you, and maybe organize all those textures in a pile, maybe your prints in another pile, and your imagery in another pile, and because organizing is going to be important. Then what are we going to adhere all of these things to? You could do mixed media paper, or I think for this one, I would prefer if it was something sturdier, like either a stretched canvas or canvas board. Wooden panels are also nice. If you flip it over, you could actually use the backside for your composition and have like a little window with your dimensional scene in there. So these are all these different options. And then of course you need to figure out what size. So I'm going to go with the canvas board. Okay, these berry baskets are cool too. You can cut this apart and use that as patterning. I had to do a little bit of planning ahead of time. So here's one of my prints that had spiral in it with Posca pens. And here's another print that I actually even glued some textural material, collage paper on. And the first thing I responded to was, it actually was the color red. So sort of playing with these, obscuring some areas and letting other areas show through. And I took photos as I went along. Okay, so I like this corrugated cardboard. And I believe I began with bigger elements. You could even do this on top of an old painting you don't really care for, but maybe you like the colors, or maybe you like one particular section, and then that becomes a focal point. Okay, so I put that there. Then I have this corrugated piece of cardboard. I cut a little window. This often happens in my work. I got some sort of a architectural element going. I can't tell you why. Okay, so I've got structure. Trying to show you the whole thing. I have the structure down here. There you go. Get a better view. And like the bottom 2/3 are kind of structured, and then the upper area is more spirally and organic. So I put that in. This has already been used for printing, but I like that it has some color going for it. And I like that it's see-through. I can see the red underneath. So I'm arranging that. And then it needs something more. So this was part of a print. I brayered just black paint, and then I did my blot printing on top. And I liked how that looks. So I put that in the window. And I'm still not committing to anything at this stage. I'm just shuffling elements around. I put another one over here. And now I'm getting to the smaller details. So I usually work from the bigger picture. Still trying to adjust this so you can see the whole thing. Okay, I work from the bigger to the smaller. I want to get my main compositional structure and then start adding things in. So I've got mostly red, black and white makes a nice contrast. And now I added in a little bit of purple. There's some more purple. Another bag. Okay. So I like to take photos as I go along, and then I can look at the photos and kind of ponder, do I like that? So this is mostly abstract, but what if I could change it up? Here's this kid in the window. That's kind of nice. What if I changed this at the top from a red to this? So again, I'm thinking this is my palette. Okay, that's a totally different look. I don't think I like it as much. Kind of gets lost, too busy. I like this is more open at the top. And then later I could stitch in smaller elements like this little, whatever that baggy tie thing is. Okay, so first step is we're composing today. I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to drag paint across the top of this. But the focus of today is to get the composition. Once, let's say I really like this, I'm going to take a photo and then I have to dismantle it. My photo will be my reference. I need to dismantle this and start gluing. So Tasha, you asked about this. So what I would do is I'd probably, I think I need a bigger canvas, but first step is I would put Mod Podge or some sort of glue and glue these flat pieces down. I don't need to use this whole print here. I only need a portion, so I'd chop that down, glue it in place. Okay, my next thing was the synthetic bag. Mod Podge does not work. Actually, no, hang on. It would be this fabric. Again, I can chop this down. This I could glue with Mod Podge or regular glue. When I get to the synthetic material, this is where I'm going to need a glue gun. Mod Podge, it's not going to work that well. It's going to peel off. So I would tack this down with a glue gun. Probably the same for the corrugated cardboard onto the synthetic fabric. Tack it down. I could do a combo actually, but probably tack that down with the glue gun And then cardboard and paper to cardboard, I can go back to my Mod Podge. So make this whole sandwich, if that's what you want to call it. And next week, I'll come back and I'll start probably going to drag paint across my focal point with the corrugated cardboard and bring some of the other elements out. So that's a broad overview of creating a dimensional collage tapestry painting. Okay.